my upbringing had no formal introduction to religion at all. I think my earliest remembrance of religion was when my mom and dad got divorced. Our babysitter took us to church with her, and I love her dearly. And what they did was wonderful if you were a grown-up. But I was 4 and my sister was 2. And they took us to the front of the church, and all the people stood around us and prayed for us because our mom and dad were getting divorced. And to me, I just remember this moaning of older people and being horrified of it. And so I go from there to being invited to Vacation Bible School, and I remember how sweet those people were. I remember accepting Christ as a Cub Scout at what was called a Good News meeting. I was invited to after the Cub Scout meeting, and there were cookies and milk involved, and so I was in. But I remember the lady saying that if I would accept Christ in my heart, then I would have everlasting life. And because of the way that we were living, because of the all of the moving around and things that we had to do because of Mom's job situation, I remember how comforting it was to know that there was this Jesus. But that was kind of my last knowledge of Christ until I was much older. At 15, a guy from Big Brothers and Big Sisters, I got a big brother, his name was Dave, and Dave took me to church with him at the West Side Church of Christ here in Muncie. And I remember being baptized there, and I remember the urgency of wanting to be baptized and accept Christ at that point in front of those folks. And I remember how disturbing the legalism of those folks were for me. I remember being chased from that as far as I was concerned. And I've always been someone who wanted to explore deeply what was going on. And the more I peeled back what was there theologically, it made me want to run instead of wanting to be close. But somewhere in my heart, Christ was there. So as I grew older, I became very successful in business. I married my high school sweetheart. We had 2 babies. We had a house, and we had 2 cars, and we had a dog and all the things you could possibly want. As we had lived in our dream house and things were going super well, and I was doing anything I wanted to, I had become enamored with the world. So for me, I don't know how to say it other than to just say that I did whatever I wanted to do with my life, and I was in charge and large, and I knew everything, and I thought I was all that. Until one evening on the way back home from work at like 11:30 at night, I get a call from a family member, and I got a call from Deronda, who said she'd gotten a call from this family member, and she said, I can't even understand what she's saying. She's just howling and crying. I need you to call her. So I called her. And when I got on the phone with her, she told me that someone in the family had done something horrible. And we just howled and cried together. And when we got off the phone, I still had another hour to go home. And I determined that my place as the patriarch of the family was to kill this other person because that was the only way to solve this problem. And as I drove down the road howling and crying to myself and going through all this, I heard the audible voice of God tell me to come home and everything would be all right. And I don't know why I knew, but I just knew exactly what he meant immediately. I knew exactly what he meant. And we had church all the way home. From that point on, we got ourselves involved here at Southside Church. We became a part of the family of God here, and I wish I could say I've never felt like there was any break in that, or that there was any difference in me that I've always just been who He wanted me to be. But the reality is, He has come and rescued me again and again and again. And I know that I have Him there for me. I know that He's come and got me. I know that the person who I felt like I needed to hurt and the person that they had hurt are now close. They're both believers in Christ, and I know that He will come and get me again and again. My name is Todd, and this is my story.